What's up, everybody? I've got my next cards ready for a PSA submission. I'm going to put those up on this video. These came out of a set I bought at a flea market about 5 years ago. I paid $60 for a 1983 Topps set. So I pulled the cards out, and we're going to start right now with the first submission I'm going to do, which I don't expect this one to grade out very high because of the centering on the card. You can see here on the right side of the card is much more narrow, but does have sharp corners. Doesn't appear to be any blemishes anywhere else on the card. So we'll see what that grades out at. If you think you know, please say down in the comments. Next card is the Rickey Henderson Record Breaker. Again, this card, it looks like it's a little off-centered off to this side, but otherwise sharp corners and no blemishes that I could see under my magnifying glass. Next is the third Rickey Henderson, which is the All-Star card. This one looks really nicely centered. I couldn't see any issues on the corners or along the sides, so I'm really hoping that this one grades out at least at an 8. Next one of the big cards is the Ryne Sandberg Rookie. This one is pretty well centered. It might on this side be just a little more narrow. Otherwise, it's got 4 sharp corners. Couldn't see anything along the ridges, along the edges of any blemishes. Hopefully that one grades out at an 8. Next up, Wade Boggs rookie card. This one is nicely centered. This little blemish here is actually on the card holder itself. So otherwise it's sharp corners, nice edges. Fingers crossed, this one's a 9. Next, George Brett. I'm kind of a big George Brett fan, so I'm going to go ahead and get this one. This one does look like on the edge here it is a little more narrow. Otherwise, that's the only imperfection that I could see. Hopefully this grades out at a 7 or better. Next is the Tony Gwynn rookie. Again, the centering is just off on this side, it looks like. Otherwise, everything else is sharp. No blemishes. No chipping that I could see under under my magnifying glass. But of course, PSA usually looks a different. I'm hoping this one grades at a 7 or better. The Reggie Jackson card, nicely centered. It might be a little narrow at the top. Again, we'll have to wait and see. I'm hoping this one grades at a 7 or 8. If you think I'm being lofty in my goals, please let me know. I do have some cards at PSA right now, hoping to get those back in the next month or so. Next is another fan. I'm a big fan of Eddie Murray. This one is nicely centered. Couldn't see any blemishes under the magnifying glass. I'm hoping this one grades at an 8 or better. Again, this is probably wishful thinking. I've got a Nolan Ryan. Oops. And on this Nolan Ryan, I'm not sure if I can get it to focus, but if you look right in this area here, see if I can get it to focus, you can see there's some damage. This card I'm hoping grades out at a 5. Next we have the Nolan Ryan Super Veteran card. No issues on this card that I could see. Love that card though. Old school picture of him. Next is the Whitey Herzog. This one is nicely centered. Couldn't find any blemishes or anything along the corners or the edges. Hopefully this one grades out at an 8. We've got Pete Rose, No issues with this card that I could see under the magnifying glass. Again, I'm sure PSA will probably grade it as a 7 because they obviously can see things that I can't even under my 10 times magnifier. Last but not least, and if you haven't liked or subscribed my channel, please do that. It helps me out greatly. It helps me with the content of this channel. So last we have Willie McGee. Growing up, I was an 80s kid. I loved the St. Louis Cardinals. Although I am a Twins fan, it was awesome to watch the 1987 World Series in which the Twins played the Cardinals and obviously beat the Cardinals in Game 7. Willie McGee is one of my favorite players. The guy was super fast, super exciting to watch. So I couldn't see any major issues with this card other than centering on this side might be a little bit off. But otherwise, top to bottom, it looked okay. Didn't see any blemishes on the card. So that is the next submission to PSA. If you guys have any questions or comments, please put them down below in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe.